Hello and welcome to Plus One to Gaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Eric.
That's the key for Billy.
Billy. It sounded like you both talked at the same time. There may be a little bit of a delay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's Billy, and I'm Mark.
All right, and we are picking back up in our Tales of Eoa series with our next adventure. So, Bill, will you do us the honor of taking the realm as DM again, Rain as DM rather, and whisk us off to the next stage of our adventure?
Sure. So we just had our interlude after you successfully found Greystock's notes for the university. In the interlude, everybody had a little bit of a character development story. I don't really want to go back into it, but due to some unfortunate incidents with some previous foes of Zizal in particular, you weren't able to get a quest, a working gig. I don't know what you call the adventuring gig, an adventure, whatever you want to call it. For a little bit, he had to hold off and, cool off some hot heads and wait for things to die down. But you all receive notice that Bucky, your adventuring manager, has found something for you to do. So is everybody able to see your characters? For some reason, you had like the old characters in the map, but now you guys have the good new ones that are correct.
Yeah, I can see me.
Yes, perfect. All right. So you walk into Bucky's office, and Bucky's furiously scribbling away as you enter his office. When he notices you, he grabs a paper that he was writing on it, shoves it under some files on his desk kind of awkwardly, and he turns to you guys like, "Oh, there's my star team, the Silver Tongues. No, wait, Strike Force Omega. No, wait, Bucky's Bruisers. What do you guys think?"
I think we need some work on those monikers, Buckland. What are you doing there, squirreling away secrets?
Yeah, well, nothing. No, don't worry about it. Noted. He takes, he slides that piece of paper out and crosses a couple things off, and puts it back in his desk. Well, I told you I'd get you some work, and as always, I deliver. How do you all feel about mines?
Like the exploding kind?
I do not know what that is.
Oh, you cast a magical rune on the spell and somebody walks on it and they explode.
Oh, you mean like a trap?
Like digging.
Yes, that is the only definition of mines that I am aware of. Maybe I'm not good at the wizarding, but I don't know any exploding mines seem to be dangerous and bad. So I do have heard of exploding mines, but not, I think, in the way that you were talking about the wizard claws.
I've spent a fair amount of time in mines.
Oh, okay.
They seem to be a common place for all kinds of happenings, adventures, hidings, malfeasance, dwarves.
That's
short people.
True. Anybody else has any objections with spending some time in some mines?
I'd prefer not to stay underground at all if I could help it.
Well, good. Actually, because you guys don't have a choice. The Adventuring Guild needs to send a team down to the mines for their patrol duty. It's our turn. And guess who just happened to come up for the rotation again? He rolls his eyes really sarcastically. Now, as this is an obligation for the guild per our agreement with the Shield Council of the city, we don't really get paid for this. But, I mean, we meaning the guild, but we don't let our agents work for free. You guys don't do anything for free. So this is a week-long task, and I'm authorized to give you all 2 whole guild per day was per diem. So hope you guys are happy with that.
2 gold per day?
2 gold per day. I know. King's ransom. But hey, what are you gonna do? You got to pay your dues. I mean, figuratively and also literally, you got to pay them dues. Am I right? So what you guys need to do is report to Goran Grundleman at the mines. Old dwarfy friend probably knows who that is, and he's a kind of a big shot down in the mines. He runs the mines. So I just good luck. See you guys in a week. Have a fun time.
Was that 2 per adventure? Or are you paying
2 adventure per day?
Time.
Yes,
2
2 adventures. So you would all get 14 gold at the end. We don't pay up front. Sorry.
Anything we need to be worried about down there, Buck?
I don't think so. We do this. I mean, this is just like a you know, it's guard duty. We got the Shield Council. We're part of it. So it's like the Fisherman's Guild, the Caravan Guard Association, some other guys. I don't know. But you just, you know, they say that it's our part to defend the city. So, you know how it goes. It's just, it just always seems to be my fucking crew that just happens to randomly come up in the rotation. So I'm sorry. I don't think it's you. It's probably me. I don't know who I pissed off. Like I said before, a lot of people, but I don't know specifically who I pissed off for this job. But
yeah, I've worked harder for less before, so this ain't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
What are we protecting the city from?
I don't know. Nothing. I mean, it's just you got to go in the mines. I mean, you know, there's that the I forget what I called it. Was it the black, like the Underdark version in this thing, like the Black Reach? I called it something else. No, Black Reach would be Skyrim. What? I called it something, but I'll figure out what it is and I'll remember. It's the Deep Black. I'll just call it that now. That is now canon. Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, things live underground and we don't want them to come attack the city. So you're really just on like guard patrol. Just, I don't know where you got. Yeah, I mean, if you find something to kill, I mean, it'll kill the boredom. I'm just saying, bring some games and shit. Every crew that I sent out there comes back and they're just fucking bored out of their minds. Because, you know, 7 whole days of just sitting around watching fucking a rock wall. Good luck.
So we watch the rock wall and make sure things don't come out of the ground into the city.
Yes, basically that's what it is. You are under your guards. The military doesn't want to send their people down. You know, they're all spending time at each of the gates, and they have like guard posts out, which are the real threats. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone need to go through the people working the mines or anything like that? Is there password we should?
I have no idea. You will get a hill briefing, I would assume, in the mines. All I know is that, from what I've told, I've never done it. You know, I'm not to toot my own horn, but my adventuring party when I was in it was a little bit too high status to get put on these shitty details.
You've fallen so far, Bucky. But we'll handle it for you.
Well, fuck you too, then. But yeah, I know. I know every day. But yeah, they had that. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. So good luck, guys. If you need anything, I don't know, talk to the dwarves.
All right, thanks, Buck.
See ya.
Oh well, Buckland.
Right. So
which one of these is a door? This a door?
That is the.
That's a window. Is this a door?
That's the door.
Yeah,
the one with
you jumped out the second story window. Roll 2d6.
Yeah.
Hard to figure out some of these top-down maps.
Roll dive. See you, Buck, and then you just dive through his window. He's like, The fuck?
Is this plate glass?
Yeah.
This is
Besides, you're taking the life of an adventurer to heart.
Yeah, this is the mine entrance. If you look on the city map, it's on the wharf quarter. It's like the northernmost part of the wharf quarter. That's the wall to the north of you right now. You can see the entrance to the mine there. Above that, way up high, is the pinnacle. So if you like crane your neck, hundreds of feet up there, you see like a wall, and you can't see from this angle, but you assume the castle and all that shit is up there, the Duke's Manse. So you arrive at the entrance to the mines. You're very familiar with this area, Umran, so you probably guided them to this. You do this walk every day. And you see a bald dwarf holding a ledger is standing at the entrance to the mines. His red-gray beard is split into two braids, both wrapping back along his chin and secured to each other behind his head with a metal clip. Amrin, you're familiar enough with dwarven culture to know that this is the facial hairstyle of a mechanist. They do that to avoid getting their beard caught in the moving belts and gears of a mechanist. The mechanist doesn't want to get their stuff caught in the mechanus.
Hashtag beard problems.
Yeah, he's writing in the ledger as he directs miners, course cards, and others with subtle but deliberate flicks of his finger and nods of his head. He seems to be the one in charge around here.
What's this fellow up here?
The guy in the green, no. Yeah, it's hard, like I said,
okay.
I wrote the descriptions, and then it's hard to find icons that perfectly match people that are bald and have a beard tied around their chin. So, theater of imagination.
Fair enough. Hello there. How turn the gears?
Well, he nods at the dwarven greeting, and he barely looks up from his ledger, and he's still like kind of directing traffic, like one of those North Korean traffic beauties, just pointing at a bunch of things. And
Don't want to interrupt your flow here, sir, but we've been sent from the Adventurers Guild for watch duty in the mines. It's our first round, so we're looking to check in and receive our orders.
Yeah, of course. I'm Finn Flagstone. I'm Chief Logistic Officer here. I go into the mines. There's a guy there, security office, Wesley Tremorfist. He's got all the details there. I got to get back.
Excellent.
I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, so he he doesn't even look up. He's still directing you or
All right,
directing
fellas.
traffic.
So this way, we'll go
Yeah.
down into the mines then.
Of course, yeah. A single arch tunnel is carved into the side of the cliff that separates the wharf from the more prosperous quarters above. It is 30 feet wide and 15 feet high in the center. The right side of the tunnel is reserved for the mule-led carts traveling in and out of the mines, carrying various ores. The mining mules are shorter and stockier than their above-ground cousins, and their eyes glow with the reflected dim light of the caverns, showing their dark vision adaptation. The left side of the mine has a steady supply of miners coming and going. Many are dwarven, but humans, goblins, and halflings join them as well. A few miners eye you as you enter the mine, but most just go about their business, pickaxe and hammers in hand. Good. Where are you at? Clicky McGee. All right. The mine extends into the cliff northwest under the main part of the city. The main tunnel is lit by oil lamps every 50 feet or so, providing just enough light. Let's see if I can get you to the next part of the map. There you go. Oh, how's that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nada.
Nothing? Oh, yeah, I got to move the banner. There you go.
Woohoo.
You're on the far left side.
Yeah.
So the main tunnel is lit by oil lamps every 50 feet or so, providing just enough light for those without dark vision to navigate safely. The smoke from the oil lamps is channeled into holes in the tunnel ceiling every couple of 100 feet, keeping the tunnel air clear. After about a 10-minute walk, the tunnels turn due east as you enter a large cavern about 200 feet across with ceilings 30 feet high. Pillars of stone extend in a grid pattern with about 40 feet spacing. You guys can move around. The ceiling slopes from each of the pillars, forming multiple arches, causing the entire cavern to have the feeling of a giant cathedral, giving this cavern its name.
The architecture here is marvelous, wouldn't you say?
Yes, the dwarves certainly know how to carve a good mine. Millennia of practice, I guess.
Yeah, it does a good job of trying to make me forget that I'm underground.
Are you a bit claustrophobic, Zeisel?
Well, I mean, I didn't think I wasn't, but being underground, I don't know. I've always had the open air above my head.
Yes, it takes some getting used to, for sure.
So, large orbs of glowing light hang from the ceiling, basking the entire cavern with light that is designed to mimic the natural sunlight of a warm spring day.
Well,
The
there you go,
cavern area is
Zeisel.
divided up into separate areas.
Yeah, it's
Much better.
not as bad as I thought
Just
it
like
would
you
be.
said. Hello, kitty.
Y'all got some loud ass pets.
The cavern area is divided up into separate areas. A row of smelters sits along the north wall, where raw ore is divided into piles on the eastern side of the cavern. You see those big piles, drawn expertly with artistic brilliance. And 10-foot walls made of crudely cut stones and simple wooden doors separate the southern area into various rooms and offices. Each office is marked with a large wooden sign designating the work being done within. The signs provide this information without words, but with the shape of the signs themselves, as many miners are illiterate.
We know Wizard Claus is going to go over and rub his face on these pillars.
Absolutely.
Is there a
Marking it sent.
sign that looks like security office, something like that?
Yeah. So the last,
shield or something?
so the second to last office on the right, you see a large wooden shield hanging near a door, right here. That looks to be. There's other ones. It seems to be like there's a bag. You see a medical symbol.
There's a lot of
decided what the
rooms.
medical symbol is, not just a red cross. There are, yeah. There's quite a few. This is just kind of like the offices of the mines. You see that. You see like a bag of gold, maybe like the payment office, the whatever you get your paycheck. What do they call that office? Payroll. And some there's various signs to let you know that this is where all the main offices are. But right there is. Let me open this door for you. Where you are exactly is the shield, which is the security office. So you can enter. It's unlocked. The security office is a small room furnished with a simple desk and a round wooden table. A large map of the entire cavern complex hangs along one wall, and it is a massive cavern complex, you can see. The map shows the maze of tunnels and mines that extend in all directions from this central room. A few red and yellow dots are marked on the map. Why don't you guys give me an investigation check?
First roll of the day.
Yeah, I have to get my sheet out.
Oh no. Rolled 4.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh.
I will. You know what? We'll just take the 16. You know enough about dwarfs that you probably roll with. I'll give you advantage with understanding anything dealing with like mines and mining and dwarven lifestyle and culture. So it makes sense. I like that they always roll 2. Zeisel doesn't know shit, but
I don't know shit.
Yeah. So with the 16 for a Lord Wizard Clause of Numbering, as I rolled a 5, you know that those areas are likely marking areas of security concern, and they're scattered around a few, the mine in various areas. You see a dwarf with soot black hair and metal scale mail armor sit at the desk reading some documents, likely security reports. 4 people stand around the wooden desk reviewing a map and conversing. Around the desk, you see a human male wearing medium armor, a halfling male wearing a leather jerkin, an elf female wearing a dark blue traveling coat over red robes, and a small human male wearing a black traveling coat and a black bow over his shoulder. You know that I will remind you that you came to look for Wesley Tremorfist.
Hello. We've been sent to meet with Tremorfist. We're here from the Adventurers Guild to run a patrol for you.
So who are you talking to? Or are you just shouting it into the room?
We've walked in. So he's just, kind of actually speaking to the table in general.
Okay, yeah. So, you're the halfling, the young-looking halfling with dirty blonde hair, looks up at you and he's like, "I'm Wesley. Most people think it's that fucking dwarf over there, but I'm used to it. But good call. You must be the group from the Thespians Guild."
The Adventurers Guild?
Oh, you're adventurers. Oh, okay. Of course. Wasn't sorry about the mix-up. Don't really look like adventurers to me, but I'm not one to judge looks, as you can probably tell. I should not judge the ore by the stone, as the dwarves say. Thank you for volunteering, he says with a wink. Come here and I'll get started on your briefing. So he walks over to the round table and points at the map. Right here, he points to somewhere on the south edge. That's Green 5-2, one of our retired copper veins. During excavation, we accidentally uncovered an entrance to the Black Depths. So that's what I called it. You guys know that the Black Depths is like the Underdark, a connected series of caverns that runs underneath Eoa. We closed and sealed the tunnel entrance, but the threat of the Black Depths is just too great to rely on iron and stone alone. This is not just a threat to the miners, but to Harborton itself. Therefore, the members of the Shield Council have agreed to send representatives to serve as lookouts and guards on a rotational basis. I'm sure your representative told you all about this. This week, it's the Adventurers Guild, which is you guys. And over here, we have the Allied Merchant Association. He points to the other 3 people standing around the table. He goes over to the shelf, grabs 6 burlap sacks tied with twine, and hands one to each person at the table and then one to each of you. Here are your rations for the week. There's also a barrel of water in Green 5-2, and an empty barrel for waste. Just please don't gross it up in there. You guys got any questions?
Yes, what are we on the lookout for exactly?
Anything. I mean, the Black Depths has a lot of bad things living in there. Luckily, we haven't seen anything, but we don't rely on luck around here. So we need people just sitting there, just making sure if something happens. Old Tom over there will kind of give you the rundown of how it works, but you just got to notify us if you see something crazy, and we can prepare. I mean, I don't expect it. We broke through about 3 months ago, and shit, nothing's happened since then. But and we still got to do what we got to do, right?
Yes, well, it doesn't sound like too hard of a task for all six of us guarding the same entrance to the caverns.
Yeah. It's just because you're out there, we want to make sure that we always have coverage. So we have 2 teams. So I mean,
Great.
it's not always 6. It's just 2 teams, whatever they send. So it just happened to be 2 teams of 3 today, or I guess it would be this week. Any other questions about what you guys need to do or anything else?
Do you have a map of the mine that we could take with us, or anything like that?
Unfortunately, that's probably a good idea. We probably should do that, but no. I mean, Green 5-2 is not really that big. It's kind of like a big square. I mean, you'll see it when you go out there. It's big. You know, it's not super big. But no, we don't usually offer the larger mine complex maps. I mean, you can see it here, but I mean, unless you guys got some magic memory, you know, we don't like to share this around with a lot of people. But
Fair enough.
anything else?
No, don't believe so. I'm sure this will be easy.
Perfect. So far has been. I just, you know, it's kind of somebody's got to do it, and you know, it just turned out to be you guys this week. So we appreciate it. You know, we got other areas of higher, you know, risk and danger. We had a couple nests that we ran into to the north, and we're kind of focusing on that. That's a real threat. So we appreciate you guys just kind of helping us out so we can focus our efforts on other things that are more dangerous, at least as of now. So why don't you guys grab your shit, and you can follow old Tom here. Gestures to the dwarf sitting at the desk, who stands up and introduces himself. I'm Tom Glittergem at your service. And he goes to shake each of your hand, and he starts walking out the door.
Tom, what?
Glitter gem.
Glitter gem.
A lot of people so far.
Tom Glitter gem.
Well, I will follow Tom.
Perfect. All right.
Wizard Claws hops up on Umrin's shoulders. Umrin's shoulder.
So turn.
Don't dig in your claws like that. Can you
Stop being so jostly.
climb soft-footed?
So the 3. Well, that's actually Wesley. So I'm going to turn him. He's the dirty blonde hair.
Ooh, Wesley just did a backflip. Impressive.
Yeah. So you have another rogue, and then you have
Flat-footed.
a human with medium armor and a wizard, an elf wizard. So those are the other people from the other party that you'll be spending some time with.
These tokens are adorable.
They are. I do have to say that I got these tokens from an awesome website that gives them out for you can use them for personal. You know, you can't sell them or anything like that. But what are they? It's called 2-Minute Tabletop. It's like a one guy runs it, but a bunch of little artists, and they offer their stuff out. So I just want to give them a shout out for doing. Yeah,
That's cool.
for it's hard to find. Yeah, it's hard to find really quality stuff, and it's customizable. And I appreciate everything they're doing to support gamers out there. So thank you very much, 2-Minute Tabletop.
Right on.
So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, the one for Trimmerfist is really cute.
Yeah,
He's
it's
a
a little
cutie.
cutie. Yeah, and yeah, you can like change all the colors and stuff, so it makes it just so you don't have like 3 dwarf icons that represents every dwarf that's ever been existed.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of annoying.
One with a
but
hammer
yeah,
and one with an axe, and that's all you get.
Yep, that's it. That's all you get. So yeah, he leads you down this this tunnel to the. I'm just gonna grab everybody. If you're not in the group, oh well. He leads you down this tunnel here. Let's see. You're led out of the office and down a 20-foot wide tunnel going southeast, lit by the occasional oil lamp. After about 3 minutes, you come to a crossroad with each tunnel attached, shrinking down to 10 foot wide and 8 foot high. Tom heads to the right tunnel and continues. At each subsequent crossroad, Tom seems to select a direction at random. You can continue to... I'm sure he knows where he's going.
Mhm.
You just have no idea. You can make no heads or tails of the direction you're going. You continue to pass mine workers and mule-led carts, but after each park become more and more rare until you're alone in the tunnels with Tom and the other group. After more than an hour of walking, let me switch you to the new area.
An hour of walking?
That's a lot.
An hour of walking in the
Especially in
these
cave.
mines extend out very far, and you're not. I mean, so it's probably you're not walking at a super fast pace. Maybe like 3 miles.
I was going to say that's about 3 miles.
Yeah.
I get my steps in. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. No idea.
So that guy's gone. Delete that. Oops. So after about an hour of walking, you come to a tunnel that is well lit with glowing orbs attached to the tunnel walls. At the end of this well lit tunnel is a 30 by 30 foot cavern room that contains a few tents around a campfire. Tents and supplies, or tables and supplies, are set up at the corner of the room. A weapon rack with a few spare weapons of each type stands in the opposite corner. You can see that they're gathering dust. They haven't really been touched at all. Not quite rusty yet, but they're just there for emergencies. The 2 previous guard teams are waiting in the room. One team, consisting entirely of dwarves, is sitting at a table, laughing and quickly finishing up their round of cards. The other group, 2 humans and a halfling, look tired and haggard. They all have their gear wrapped and packed slung around their shoulder, and they are ready to leave. The dwarves turn to their guard partners and joke. Calm down. You'll see your precious son soon enough. I don't know why you're so antsy. You got a week's worth of pay and free food to sit around twiddling your damn thumbs. Plus, I mean, as a bonus, you lost your fishy smell by now. All the dwarves just think this is the funniest thing. The biggest human turns to the group of dwarves. Fuck you, Stonehead. This is the biggest vacation to you. What? Feel free to take our turns next time if you love it. Dwarves also laugh at this response too, seeing that he's getting flustered, and you can tell that these guys have had about enough of being in here. So Tom turns to you. Here we go. Green 5-2. Fuck, I lost his voice already. This is the only way in and out, so I need one team of you to shack up here. The other should be roving as much as possible. You see the human with medium armor turns to Tom. I believe we should take this post. The smaller human cries out from behind him. No way! That's boring! The elven female turns to him. Cal, think about it. We are guards by trade. We should be guarding. They're adventurers. They should be adventuring. She goes over and puts a hand on his little shoulder, and while he's pouting, he's angry. He doesn't really want to sit around and wait. Tom takes this as a decision. He claps his hand. Well, that's settled. Okay, team. Let me go over the rules real quickly. You are not to leave your post. One person needs to be awake and on guard here at the station at all times. If anyone gets sick, injured, you need help, you run out of food, something happens to the food, or God forbid something exciting happens, hit the green button over there. And you see against this, there's a green button. And next to it, covered in cobwebs, is a smaller red buttons. The green button, mind you. Don't hit the red one unless you want to be stuck in here till we can dig you out. He laughs and points to the barrel of water. Well, this water may taste funny to you. God damn it, I lost his voice again. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm terrible at voices. I promise that it's safe. It was conjured to just 2 weeks ago, and it stays fresh. The food, on the other hand, fresh? No. Safe? Yes. Sorry, it's not haute cuisine. And he kind of twiddles his beard in like a mustache. Caviar doesn't do well in the damp. He chuckles and turns to you all. Patrollers, please check in with the guard stations at least once a day. They don't have time to maintain vigil and also go looking around for you. You can also feel free to switch up positions, or as long as someone's here, I really don't care. And finally, and most importantly, no falling in love.
I'm
He
sorry.
stares
What?
stone face at each of you.
Is that
He's
a
only
common
able
problem?
to maintain. He's only able to maintain that facade momentarily, and he bursts out laughing. That cracks me up every time. Actually, what you do in the mines is none of my damn business. Just don't make a mess. He cackles to himself as he turns and walks out. The team of relieved guards, their shift now completed, follow after him. The humans and the halfling are a little bit quicker, and you can see that they are very excited to leave. So, dun dun dun. 168-hour guard shift starts now.
I can only see the H colon 0M. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I thought we were going
I
to count
was
up.
trying to make it like a timer thing, but I can't get anything.
So you have to change it
that's what
manually.
is. I also have a see if you can hear this. Yeah, can you hear this?
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
Tick-tocking,
can.
or I think. So I put that in. All right, so so these guys are all gone. Let's clear up everybody who's not here. So Cal, which is the what the elf called the little guy, she and the elf and then the armored human, they all walk over to you, and then they just walk right by you and they go over to the tents because this is their guard post. So they each choose a tent, kind of start loading their stuff into it. Just unloading stuff. The elf woman, after she's done, she walks up to you and reaches out her hand. Esther Jorkins at your service. The little excited one over there is Colburn Grant. And the big one, I think his name is Zahn. She points to the armored human, who casually raises his hand in a salute without looking up from organizing his pack. I guess good luck out there, and let us know if we can help out some way. I mean, we'll just be posted up here. The entrance tunnel is located to the north, and then you see the two small tunnels to the east and the west. These tunnels lack the oil lamps that illuminated the larger tunnel. So I'm guessing you guys can't see very far down each of the tunnels. Correct?
What about with our dark vision?
60 how much
feet
dark
or
vision
whatever it is? I have 60.
feet?
You get, let's see.
Seems pretty dark.
Yeah, I have
to
you
me.
as 60 foot of night vision. And then let me see. Do you also have 60 feet of night vision with the cat? Yeah, you both should have 60 feet of night
Yeah,
vision.
I can see down there a little. I don't have.
Yeah. But you see, you're kind of just free to do what you want now. This is your time to shine. You're here for the next 7 days. 168 hours doesn't seem like 7 days. Maybe it's only, I forget how many. I thought it was supposed to be 5 days. I may have done the math wrong.
168, 24 times 7.
Yes, okay, so I was right. For some reason it doesn't seem long enough, but yeah. So you have 7 days to do stuff. I don't know what you guys wanted to do first. You guys want to?
Well, let's sit here for 6 days, and then on the 7th day, we'll walk around once to make sure nothing's in.
Sounds like a plan to me.
23rd hour.
Do we get tents? Or is it just these guys?
Well, there's
I didn't bring it.
you guys are sharing. You share tents. You can. There's not really tents for you. For the roving team, it's expected that when you guys need to sleep, they take over a guard and they're not in their tents. So, there's just the 3 tents set up here, and they're claiming it because they're going to hang out here. They're calling this home base, but when you guys need to sleep, you guys need to come back here. You don't have to, but you're welcome to come back here.
Just sleep in the hallway.
We're supposed. Yeah, we have to check in with. This is the group we're supposed to check in with once a day. Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as somebody's patrolling most of the time, and somebody is always here awake. That's the only rule is somebody should be patrolling most of the time, and they need to have people awake here. So you got if something sneaks out of the Underdark and sneaks through the tunnel, you guys need to make sure that's what their main concern.
Zasa, Umrin, we have a whole cavern to explore. Why would you want to just hole up here?
I mean, I really doubt there's anything super interesting down these tunnels, but
How will you know unless you look?
I guess on the sake of not just going stir crazy, we could take a walk.
My only concern is being able to track the time of day, knowing that we're going to spend a long time underground. It becomes very disorienting for those of us who live in the light. To be careful not to lose sight of how long we've been on patrol, or walk for an entire day and then not remember how to get back.
We could make a map as we go.
Yeah, I mean, like how complicated are these tunnels? We don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess.
Yeah, you have absolutely no idea how complicated the tunnels are.
Yes,
They
we need
did
to
say that they
explore.
weren't that it's not like a huge maze. I believe they
Said it was a
told you
big
just kind of
square.
like a big square. Yeah.
Oh, squares ain't that complicated.
I have a potion of speed. How fast are you, Cat? You can just do a zoomy loop real quick.
Oh, but then you miss all the opportunities to smell things and put your scent on things.
Good point. Well, shall we split up?
Yes, please do.
Let's all go
way more
one way.
Which way would you like to go first? Off to the eastern side or the western?
Yes, this way.
So it's a big square, but we don't know how long it takes to do the square, right?
You have absolutely no idea. You know that it's a square. You don't know how big or small it is.
I bet it takes a day.
That's a long fucking square.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yes, merchant humans, we are going to do the loop. We'll be back at some time.
All right. Amran, you don't have any way to see as of right now, correct?
I have a torch.
So,
I don't have the light cantrip.
yes. So there's a
anybody
bunch
else
of
does.
torches in the supplies. So you just have.
Ooh.
We're not going to keep track of your torches. So you have unlimited
Yeah, I was
torches
about
if that's
to.
what you want to use. Okay. Which is 20 feet of bright light and.
I've been
20 feet
practicing a bit of
dim light.
magic, Umrin. I could help you.
How's that? Is that better?
What type of magic? You've got magic lights.
No, I can do a little bit of transmutation to make you see in the dark better. Show up some of your human limitations.
I would love to reduce my limitations.
He'll hop up onto Umrin's shoulder and start kneading him with his claws, and as he does, he casts dark vision on Umrin.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So he has 60
Okay.
feet of dark vision for 8 hours.
For 8 hours. All right. Let me.
The pain of your prickly little fingernails is somehow making my eyes sharp.
Yeah, I think like as he
Okay.
like after he does it, Umrin's eyes like dilate. And
It's
light
like
him
Requiem
up.
for a Dream.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off your light then and give you. Now you should have dark vision. Does it look like you have dark vision?
Yes.
I'll just do regular old.
That's
vision.
amazing.
Okay. All right. So these walls or these caverns are 10 feet wide, and they're a little bit less than 10 feet tall. They're, they were made by dwarfs, but and any normal humanoid or medium humanoid should be able to fit in there without slouching. But you can see that they're well worked. The side are pretty smooth. Like they have, these aren't really the tunnels they use for mining. These are more just like the for movement and transportation. They weren't really removing ore from these tunnels.
Okay.
Before we go too far, can I? Oh wait. Never mind. I was gonna put poison on my weapons, but it says it only lasts 1 minute. That's dumb.
I guess it evaporates
that's-
quickly.
You
Yeah.
gotta use it like right. Okay.
Is it an action to do that, to like poison your weapon, or is it a bonus action?
No, that's not a bonus action.
It's not.
Yeah.
Unless your class gives you a bonus action to
It
poison something.
specifically says it takes an action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like using a potion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I always thought of it as something you would do before. I've never used poisons before. Never mind.
Although
Yeah,
I wonder
I
if
think
we
there-
could. Go ahead, Bill.
I think there are poisons that you can do
This is
to
just
have
a
longer
basic
lasting
one.
effects.
Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah,
sense. This is like a-
the nicer poisons that you have. So if you look in the Eoa,
The premier poisons.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could
no,
create
I mean they
like
are
a
like there's
mini.
poisons
yeah, I
fleet.
haven't got any materials to make any though. Yeah, but I bought some basic ones from the get-go.
Yeah, sorry.
We
Chris,
could maybe
what
do
were you
like a
saying?
homebrew for like a poisoner's feat, where it's like that gives you like as a free action you can poison instead of burning up your action as like a feat that you could train or build.
Oh, that's a good idea. You know, one thing I do want to do though is specifically mention that while we're in the mine, I'd like to keep an eye out for any sparkles that might be like pieces of nice metal or gems
Ooh.
laying around.
Absolutely. I will let you know. You have
Any mineral
everybody's-
material type things that I could use for alchemy later.
Yeah. So if you're actively looking, it's going to take a little bit longer. But I have everybody's passive perception. So
Gotcha.
yours is not great.
12.
It's only 12.
Oh.
But Zyzal's is 15, and Lord Wizard Claus is 17. So
If
He'd be
anyone,
easily
you've
distracted
noticed-
by gems for sure.
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
anyone sees
I will-
anything of value, be sure to point it out. We might be able to keep it.
yeah, they did say this was an old copper mine. So I will let you know if you see any gems, but it wasn't like a gem mine, so you're not expecting to see like giant. What do they call?
Gems.
I have it written here.
Veins.
No, we're veins. Yeah, you don't see a
Hmm.
gem vein. You're not expecting a gem vein. You may see a few, but I
No
will-
mithril in here.
I will just remind you this is a standard copper mine for to your knowledge.
Yeah, that's what a DM would say.
I'll also take
Crafty
copper.
bastard.
So you guys are good to go. You want to keep going? So as you go,
Yeah. Can
Along.
Fiona pop out as a spider? And she's gonna trail along with us too.
give me a second.
Spider.
She will. I will get you a spider token. I was not prepared,
Of course not.
but I will.
He needs a specific color.
How would
spider.
you know that I was gonna
You can tell.
Yeah.
pull out a spider? Familiar.
A chartreuse colored spider token, please,
Mhm.
with
Yes.
5 legs, because it's been
Oh,
injured.
man, do I have a? I obviously don't have a spider.
It's fey and it's pink. It's
Yeah.
a translucent pink or purple spider.
Oh my gosh, making things great for me.
There's
Thank you.
translucent token. Those would be a ton of options.
Translucent pink
Spider
spider.
token.
Well, I also
The
need to
funny
be
thing
a
is,
token.
that would be one that there would be multiple good options for.
There's actually
But
some.
just like human soldier, there would only be one
Yeah.
terrible option.
I don't have any prepared, so your
That's okay.
choices are.
It can just be
Here
a
you
blank
go.
token as well to be a placeholder, which is very much acceptable.
No, I got you. What is happening? Oh, it's taking forever. Fiona's That is your token.
Is that the Queen Elizabeth?
Queen of England.
Okay.
That is Queen.
How
Queen
did you have
Elizabeth.
that at the ready? What
Don't worry
other
about
games
it.
are you running?
It's not faster than a spider.
Because I had that prepared. So you don't. For a while there, when early on, I was making celebrities as all of the. You don't remember that? Like all the guards were Matt Damon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Duke was Duke Ellington. Yeah, I got all those people. And the Queen is the Queen. So if you,
of course,
you can also be. You can be whoever you want. Like I said, if you wanted to be Duke Ellington. Knock yourself
no,
out.
I think the Queen is a very appropriate choice. I dig that.
Yeah, I just Googled image search like Queen, and that's the first thing that popped up. I'm like, perfect. And then I would go to like Duke, and then that one popped up. I'm like, that's the Duke now. So yes.
Yeah. Anyways,
so you should have control over her.
She'll skitter around along the ceiling as we make our journey, and I think maybe she's leaving a little trail of thread just in case.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a square, but
To help you find it and navigate, you just you can just draw. If you wanted to, just draw like a white thread.
yeah.
Like that. You don't have to, but it may be easier to remember. All right, so Fiona's skittering along the ceiling. You guys are walking along the this very well-made tunnel. So you haven't seen anything yet?
Yeah. Can we keep an eye out for just like where they might have breached, like that point where they said that they?
Yep.
As we walk along.
Yeah. So when you're looking out, you're going to look for any like cracks in the wall or anything that looks like there's like an entrance or place they could breach. I'll definitely. So you'll have anything like that. I'll let you know. But yeah, you're going, quite slow, just because this is your first time walking around. So as you get down to so when you get down to the tunnel, you do see some offshoots. It does look like this is a little bit more of a rough made tunnel. It looks like this is a vein that they were following. You can see that the ceiling and the walls are a lot more rough. They are being supported by actual pillars, like wooden pillars that you would think of with a mine. The excellent dwarven craftsmanship on the main tunnel doesn't need those supports. It is self-supporting, but you can tell that they didn't really want to spend time, finishing up this tunnel because they were just trying to follow the seam, the vein, and it looks. I don't know. You don't really see any. It looks like they fill it. It was a small vein, and they kind of gathered most of it here.
So you said this was just an offshoot where they found a vein.
Yep, that's what this looks like. This tunnel.
Does it continues through? And it loops around.
Yeah, it looks like the main tunnels are in like a north or the cardinal directions. And it looks like they found this vein. They followed where it was. It kind of cuts across both tunnels, cuts across the corner of the main tunnel. So you can see this is the edge square. So it's not super big, at least horizontally. But yeah, you don't see anything. It just looks like they stopped mining that that vein. It just dried up, and they went around looking for other veins.
I guess we'll continue.
Are you continuing south?
Yeah.
All right. So continuing south.
South.
Yeah. You see the tunnel wraps around, goes to the south a little bit, and then it looked like they cut back to the east after a very short bit. You don't know what made them stop, but it looks like they just stopped short of what they were expecting. And it's cut back east.
Umrun, have you spent a lot of time underground?
Yes, a fair amount.
You seem to know quite a bit about dwarves and their culture.
Yes, I lived for several years, primarily underground, among dwarves.
Why did you live with them?
Well, I had sought out a new life. I left home and originally went to see if I could be of use. I'd heard of an unfortunate illness that had a lot of the dwarven community. I sought to help where I could, and eventually was able to do a little bit of good that got me some shelter among their peoples, which of course was underground. So I lived with them for years and learned some of their ways.
That must have been quite difficult when you could not be able to see.
Yes, it was much better now that I have your magical abilities. I wish I'd had that back in the day, but yes, there was a lot of there's a big obstacle, and being one who stands out among the crowd doesn't help either. So there was some things I had to deal with being in a different place that you're not born in or accustomed to, for certain.
Well, I do know what that is like.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What of this chamber here? What's this little room?
Doesn't seem too familiar to me. I never did get the
Yeah,
hang
so-
of mining.
Yeah. So the chamber you see looks to be very similar to the previous one with the wooden supports, but this one has some strange yellow crystals that are on the wall, and one seems to be kind of right in the center of the floor, which seems like a strange place. I think they would have cleared it out.
Can we investigate it?
Sure. Give me what do you want to use to investigate it? You want to use investigation or?
And well, let's see. So I guess since we don't really have any clues or any information surrounding this, maybe investigation isn't the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Well, we know inherently that colors tied to important deities and things.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make it like insight?
Insight's
I
more
don't
for
know.
like
Is insight just like kind of inherently knowing, like, ooh, I have insight into that?
it's like insight is it's mostly for like people or stories or something. If you just tell something's not what it seems to be, like if somebody's being deceptive or if there's a secret message in like a note, that's kind of like that's insight to just like know if something's a little bit off.
Yeah, I think I'll go with investigation.
Yeah, investigation works. Yeah, great investigation. So you rolled a 18 investigation.
18 to investigate.
So I also rolled an 18. Amrin, this is not your forte. You rolled a 2. But with the 18, you can see that these crystals, they're not gems. So they don't think they have a lot of inherent value. It almost looks like those big like quartz crystals that you would you see in like some other like pictures of caves, where they're like kind of translucent-ish, but not quite. They're pretty hard if you tap on them. It doesn't look like they're a valuable gemstone. It's some sort of crystal that you don't recognize. If you are you touching I guess with your investigation, are you touching with your hand or?
I think he was more like sniffing at it and just kind of like looking at it, like observing it.
Yeah. I mean, they look like just large yellow crystals, and you've seen those kind of in around, but not really. This is something new.
Yeah. Well, he's a cat, so he does cat things. So he also like bops at it with his paw.
Yeah. So if you do touch, it does feel a little warmer than like the surrounding, the cold of the surrounding stone, but not like enough to hurt you or anything. It's just like it's a little different. You don't know what's going on.
What happens if he rubs his face up against it?
It's a little warm. It's like a sun that's been like a stone that's been basking in the sun almost. It's just a little warmer than the surrounding stones.
Well, he loses his shit and just starts rubbing his face all over it and purring.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, that's basically.
Saz, let's stay here. This room is delightful.
Yeah, it's a little weird that these are here, but I guess like I don't. What do I know? I've never been in underground before. They are nice and warm though.
Is it? It's like I would imagine underground. It's like chilly. What the fuck?
No, I'm just going to replace the queen with an actual.
Sorry, we're fucked. We just learned the queen's Shelob that we're fucking here. I like the queen.
You
better.
are fine.
Spiders freak me out.
Fine, we'll go back to the queen.
No, it's okay.
She could have been a
You
little
chose
chipmunk.
spider. Yeah.
Can you just put the queen's face on the spider's body?
Oh man,
That'll make it worse.
probably. I could try. Give me a second. I'll do that for the next episode. So yeah, just.
Are there any?
Sorry.
Are there any loose pieces of it or anything or are they all just kind of like big outcroppings? Is it possible to take one or examine it more closely?
You can try like chipping. Like you don't really have anything that's hard enough to chip this. Like I would assume none of you have like a pickaxe or anything. Like if they're hitting it with like your staff, it just doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Donkin. It's not going to do it. You think
come
that
back a little later with some equipment. We've
Yeah,
got 167 hours to go.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
You do have lots of time.
I have an alchemist tools, but I don't know what that.
Oh, that's
are these things magical?
I could take a few moments to see.
Could you please?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take 10 minutes to do a ritual of detect magic.
Yeah, you don't see them glowing with magic. They're not inherently magic. They're just big, large, yellow, like crystals that are. I don't think you may just not have enough information to know what they are. You'd think, Amrin, with your alchemy or whoever has alchemy skills, you'd think that you could probably, if you were to gather some of these, you could use that for like reagents for things for like like a mineral, because it seems to be more mineral than like a gem. You just don't have anything to collect them.
Let you come back and get some of those later.
Yes, we can commiserate on some alchemy, Umrin. Shall we continue our exploration of these caves?
Yeah, may as well.
Path.
Right, yeah. To the north, you see a smaller tunnel, and it's very thin. It goes down to 5 feet wide, and only about just barely like dwarf height. It's not even big enough that they needed to support it with the wood. It looks like they were finding a very, very thin vein. And it just loops around to the east and then back down to the south to the main tunnel. So you are
looping around.
Yeah. So this one, you don't know if it followed the vein or they were just already close to the other tunnel, so they just decided to make another access point to it. You don't know enough about mining to think that there is anything in this. And you keep going east along the main access tunnel.
A little offshoot. Oh,
yeah.
Look, it looks to be some water.
Yeah, so when you get to the about half. Well, I don't know where you are in the tunnel. To the north, I mean, you can kind of tell. I don't know if you can see the rest of the map. Did I?
No, it's like dynamic lighting where we just see what's sort of in front of us.
Give me a second. I'm going to figure out if I can make an explorer mode.
What does explorer
now
mode
can
do?
So it like gives you fog of war, but it also like leaves area that you've explored visible on the map.
Oh,
It
yeah,
should.
it hasn't done that yet. Maybe if we do it.
Hopefully,
now.
as you do, it does. So yeah, you see like this looks to be like an underground stream.
It does now. Yeah.
So it's like a round. It does.
Yeah,
Yes,
now it's
it
laggy
does
as
not.
hell too.
It's
Oh,
a flight cache and all that stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a big map. It tells me when I did it that this is about as big as the map can get.
Through
So
and exploring all the areas that I went to just to turn it on the map.
Yeah, just go back to it real quick. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't. I'm sorry if it's laggy, but
It's fine.
A biggie.
we don't really do things that quick. Yeah, so back in this round circular, it's about 40 feet across, 40-foot wide circle. It's very low ceiling, though, kind of like a domed ceiling. And it looks to have a underground stream that's running through it. You can see where the stream enters on the west, and actually, no, it enters on the east and then leaves on the west. It flows to the left. And you can see that it's not very deep, but there is like a small gap, where the water flows in. You could assume that maybe something could get in. It couldn't be that big, but there definitely is some sort of access point. So for that, you're specifically looking for areas of access.
Mm-hmm.
This would be one. You also see like a bedroll and an old campfire. So it looked like somebody, maybe one of the other explorers, that used this area as one of their home base.
Mm-hmm.
So they have one bedrolls there. There are other bedroll supplies up there. They didn't make permanent tents, like you said, but there are definitely supplies to make like a camp back in that main room.
Interesting.
And that's, I mean, you don't see anything in here. There's nothing in the water. I mean, it's probably clean if you wanted to drink it. It's underground streams, so they're usually pretty clean. It's very cool, very cold, but it's only about, I would say, like a foot and a half deep at the deepest portion. It looked like some miners or somebody kind of shallowed it out and tried to make like a little bit of a pool here. So they purposely widened the creek, right here in this room. So,
but it's a pretty tight flow in and out.
It's a pretty tight flow in and out. I mean, you couldn't squeeze. Maybe Zizal could, but it would be a tough fit, and he may get stuck and die. Just that.
I don't want to do that.
How do you feel about going for a swim?
I don't want to get stuck.
If you're stuck and you're under. Yeah. Well, if you're stuck, your head's underwater. So I'm just saying you.
Yeah, I understand how breathing works.
We don't know where this leads to, right?
No. It's strange because it doesn't. It's pretty flat around here. So you didn't cross it back on the western side. So it looks like maybe the elevation was just different enough that they went either right above it or right below it.
Can you see when you send your Fiona out into the world?
Yes, I could.
Follow-up question. Can your Fiona be a frog?
Oh, she absolutely could.
Can we stuff her in?
Yes, we could. We could explore through.
Is the flow strong enough that she could swim back against it to return to you?
What else could she be? She could also be a seahorse. Seahorses are pretty terrible at everything, though. They're not very good.
They do not swim very good at all. So
they don't do
seahorse
anything
could
good.
not.
They can barely cling to seaweed.
Yeah.
They're just good at being pretty.
No, I think a quipper would be the most appropriate choice.
Okay. Yeah, a quipper could easily swim. Like any
What's
creature that's
quipper?
What's a
designed to
quipper?
swim. It's like a piranha. It's a D&D
Yes, so
piranha.
I will request a quipper token with the queen's head.
All right, so I'll get both of those prepared for next week. Yeah, we'll see if I can. Just give me a list of all the different animals that you can turn her into. I guess it's
There's a
every
way.
animal in the.
There it is.
It would probably be a pain, but there's a way to make a token that has different sides.
Bat, cat,
so you
crab.
could have all the
Hmm.
animals on one token.
Maybe,
Octopus
yeah.
would be tight.
Octopus would definitely do it. A small octopus. But yeah, I'll try to do all these, and every single one of them will have the queen's head. So that'll
All right,
make
yeah.
it
So let's
nice
do
and easy.
octopus with queen's head. That's way better than a quipper. It's an
Octopus
octopus.
with, yes, octopus with queen head. So right now, can you change? You have to. So when you change it, I would assume you have to cast it again. You can't.
You do not.
Oh, okay.
So going down to the bottom, you can transform it.
Oh, okay.
You can dismiss it, and you can dismiss it at will, and have it reappear as whatever new form.
Yeah, but you'd have to cast it again. If you cast a spell while you already have a familiar, you're instead cause it to adopt a new form.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll
So
just
you would
take 10
have
minutes
cast
to.
it again.
I'll do 10 minutes to do a ritual.
because it's a
And yeah, I don't have it prepared
is
as
there ritual for
a
this?
prepared spell, so it has to be a ritual.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So while you guys are kind of hanging out in this pool, it's very pretty. There's no light because you all have dark vision. But yeah, it's you get an octopus. So I did not make you an octopus yet. I will, but just assume the spider is now an octopus. I don't even know where the spider
Same
went.
amount of legs, right?
Yes.
You're right. Where'd the spider go?
It was down by that crystal room, I believe.
Oh
Still.
yeah. How come octopi have 8 in their names, but spiders do not?
Octopod.
Yeah, spiders are
Octoleg.
fucking creepy. Yeah, so Fiona jumps in, slashes around, and squeezes through.
Hopefully, there's
Yeah,
not
so
enough room for things to come.
Yeah, so she squeezes through, and it is just like a very small underground creek that you can see that, sometimes it's completely underground. There's no, or completely underwater. There's no area for like air. Every once in a while, you'll get some some area of like softer stone that is kind of eroded a little bit. Not like large rooms, but just, mini caverns. But you go for a while. It doesn't look like there's anything there. I mean, like, I don't know how far you're willing to go, but like
Only 100
if you
feet
went,
is
that's
the
it.
range.
Yeah, if you want to go 100 feet, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything of interest. It's just that's downstream, so it just looks like the water keeps flowing. It's pretty flat.
What about upstream?
Doesn't seem like it. So if you go upstream, same thing. You have a 100-foot range, right?
Yes, 100 foot.
20 of these squares. Yeah, you once again, it's very similar to the downstream where it's just a very small crack that the water is seeping through. Once again, every now and then you see like areas of soft stone. Yeah, there's nothing over there in 100 feet that you can see. I mean, you don't know if, it's big enough that like I would say a small creature could definitely get through. A very small, medium creature with the right dimensions could maybe get through.
Like a long snake.
Like a long snake, exactly. But it's mostly, you would say that it'd be difficult for them, and you can't imagine somebody would want to do that. But yeah, like small creatures would have no problem going through there. But yeah, it's nothing. You don't see any, and you don't see like, it doesn't open out, 50 feet into like this giant cavern with, a dragon or anything cool. Sorry.
You never know
I
unless you
didn't think of
explore.
Yeah, no, that's
You should write that
It's a good
down
check.
as a very unlikely weakness. You can report back.
Yes, we can probe for vulnerabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we-
Yeah.
Soldier on.
Let's. He'll
for the
take. He'll
east
do one
again.
last ritual to turn her back into a spider.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you have nothing but time, so you just turn her back into a spider. You get. She's a spider with the queen's face.
Spider.
So you keep going to the west or to the east. You know,
fucking scary.
eventually you cross another smaller tunnel. This one is very small. It's once again not big enough that they need the supports like some of the other ones. You to the south, it just empties into like a circular room that just ended. To the north, you see that there is some sort of crack. There is an entrance here. You don't know how. I mean, it's pretty big too. It's about 5 feet wide, about 2 feet tall.
That's this here, this hole that I pinged.
Yep, yeah, that is a crack. Just looks like a natural cavern that they ran into. You don't know if this is the one that they were talking about, or if this is just another cavern.
So is it in like the floor, like a hole,
It is.
or
It's
like a wall?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the floor. It does not seem to. It seems like they chipped around it. It doesn't really go up to the ceiling above you.
Can I smell down the hole?
Absolutely. Give me a perception check.
With advantage, that's 12.
Yeah, with a 12. I mean, you don't smell anything of note that you wouldn't expect. You know, it's kind of musty. You may suspect that maybe the stream is down there somewhere.
Can I drop a loose piece of stone down and then listen for
Absolutely.
like a click or a splash, or try to see how long that takes?
Yep. Give me a perception as well, so you can to see if you can hear the.
Everyone, listen. Where is it?
Yeah, really.
Ugh.
Oh wow!
So you drop it, and right when you drop it, you sneeze. And so when you're trying to hear it, but luckily, Zizal is got his good goblin ears out, and you hear that it hits. Like you hear like a tink, like it's kind of tinking off the walls. It doesn't go straight up and down, but after about a couple seconds, it doesn't. You hear the last tink, so you can't imagine it's not like super super deep. You don't think this extends down into the black depths, because the black depths are not just like 30 feet below you. It's hundreds of feet below you is where the black depths are. So it doesn't seem like it does. You can't guarantee that it doesn't, but it's not like a 200-foot vertical crack. It's
Can Fiona climb down there about 100
Absolutely.
feet ish and see what she sees?
Yeah, and the spider. So this does twist and turn when she goes down the crack. You can see that there are. It does. Some of the water is there, so it does look like it just clips the underground stream, or at least they share things. The underground stream does not drain into it, or it doesn't drain into there. There's like a separation. Yeah, it does. As you can see, the 100 feet is not quite far enough, so you wouldn't. That's why I wanted to ask how far 100 feet was. In octopus form, it just wasn't quite a bit long enough for her to see that. And then it goes down a little bit further, because the underground thing is not very far. It's only about, I would say 10 feet below where you are. The mine in general is pretty flat, but it is ups and downs a little bit. It's not 100% perfectly level. It looks like they had a slight upslope from there, and so that's where this is just slightly above that underground
Fiona
Creek
grabs the
and,
rock that Umrun dropped and brings it up, and then hands it with his creepy little spider arms. Reaches it up to offer it back to Umrun.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
It does go. That crack does go past that, but it doesn't seem like it widens out in any giant cavern again. And like it's just a meandering crack.
So many nooks.
At least
and
you don't
crannies.
think it does. Yeah, you don't see it here. But it looks like this vein was kind of. They tracked it to the west as well from this room, so it looked like, while they were finding out the vein, they found this crack. They decided to excavate around the crack, but then you see to the east or to the west is the small tunnel that they were tracking the vein, and to the south is back to the main tunnel. Your choice to go. And that the small vein curves to the north.
Carry on to the west.
Yep.
Gosh. Also, it loops all the way back to the north.
Loops all the way back to the north. And as you pope out here, you look to the left, to the west, and you just see the your compatriots, and they're just kind of hanging out, chilling. As they see you pop out of that.
Can we just pop out, or can we sneak out?
Roll a perception. Yeah, roll a stealth.
Because maybe he wants to listen.
Yeah, because you could see the light there, because that bonfire that they have is showing enough light that that's the main tunnel. So give me a stealth of 24. Yeah, you can. They have no idea that you're there.
Yeah,
you see them, and they're just they're hanging around. They're still it's been about, I would say, an hour and a half.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you had to cast a ritual a couple times. So in the hour and a half, they're kind of just sitting around. They're the small one is looking at the fire, and so is the wizard. But the male soldier seems to be very vigilant, and he's the one he didn't quite catch you because you're pretty stealthy. But he's vigilant more than the other two.
Can he eavesdrop? Drop some eaves? Just if they're talking about anything.
So you're going to drop... Yeah, so you hear them, and they're kind of exchanging stories. Yeah, with the stealth. Yeah, so you easily can hear them. They're just chit-chatting about... It sounds like they're telling stories of, adventures. Not really adventures, but they're caravan guards, basically. And so, you kind of hear stories about, I guarded this one thing with this. It's just work stories comparing... and they're not really exciting because caravan guards don't do exciting stuff. So they're just...
Vassal Umrun, would you like to play a little joke on our new friends?
Yeah, I love jokes. What do you have in mind?
Oh, what if we had little Fiona go over and crawl on them and scare them and make them scream?
That could be funny.
Oh, you could pretend to be a band of orcs coming to ravage them.
That might be a little less funny.
And then when they flee for their lives, we can create an illusion on Umrun. He can startle them from the other side. It'll be wonderful.
I'd rather not take any arrows or swords to the face. Maybe the spider trick.
Let's see.
If you insist.
Yeah, let's have a little bit of fun. See if Fiona can crawl in the ceiling and just descend onto one of their hands and then leap off. See what happens.
For sure. So you are...
What is that spider? I lost my token. Unless Zeisel's standing on her. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, so I think it's just going to try and crawl on the ceiling and then use its thread to descend down on one of their hands.
Yep. All right. So yeah, he's not perceived when he does that. He goes down. He is. So he crawls down, and he just lands on one of their hands.
Yeah.
So these two are kind of chit chatting. He's a little bit more vigilant. He was over here looking. So he just lands on one of their hands. So as soon as they they're not really paying attention, they're chit chatting. How big is Fiona?
I wouldn't say if
Normal spider?
No, like I want to say like one of those like wolf spiders, like hand sized maybe.
Okay.
Like a reason,
Yeah, like a
a
tarantula,
spider.
basically.
Yeah, like kind of like a little substantial.
The next question is, how many hit points does she have?
Probably like 1.
Slapped.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like they don't really slap. The first thing they do is,
I flail
they
about
scream,
wildly.
like they're a little bit. Okay, so yeah, well, they see it. So you're making sounds immediately.
Well, I don't know about sounds. Just the. I think we're just going with the spider prank.
Okay, so so the spider lands on their hand. You see that they freak out a little bit. Like it's a big spider, but it's not uncommon for it's just looks like a normal spider to them, and not unheard of to have a spider down in the caves. And so they freak out a little bit, and they stand back, and you hear the small one kind of shriek a little bit. Zahn, he just turns to him to see what's going on. He sees a tiny little spider, and he just kind of smirks a little bit and just goes back to watching out. Nothing.
After they scream,
Nothing serious. No real threat to Fiona. So he comes out.
Hello.
And is.
We've returned.
When you come out, he sees you. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. The spider like goes back to wizard claws, and he like it's kind of like the spider went in first, and then the crew comes. The whole crew comes afterwards. We've explored a bit of the caves. What have you been up to?
But so they're the kind of they look up when they do that. They have your attention now, or they're a little bit more attentive now that they saw the spider. So Esther, who's the female wizard, she turns to you and she goes, just biding our time. Nothing exciting happened on this side. I'm assuming that was your doing with the spider.
Oh, just a bit of fun. Just to say hello.
So she kind of smiles. It wasn't really concerned because it wasn't her hand, it was his. So Cal, he's a little bit more like, oh, fucking, that was you. I knew it the whole time. That was fun. I thought it was hilarious. Like you could tell that he was nervous and scared, but he's trying to brush it off like he knew it was a joke and he was playing up to it, which is you don't even have to roll an insight to know that it was absolutely a lie. It's just
Fiona's harmless, I assure you. She's just a bit friendly.
Yeah. Zahn, he looks over at you and he asks, is there any security threats that you have identified?
Yes, but we seem to find a small hole in the stream to the south.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You see that he's noting it. He goes, okay. So small for the no access, right?
I think it would be quite difficult for anything bigger than, say, Zazel over there to get through.
He eyeballs Zazel and has how small he is. Okay, good. I would suggest we just check periodically during your patrols. That would be the best option. You can see he's just dead serious. He's just everybody else seems bored. He's just, he's
taking it seriously.
He's taking it absolutely seriously compared to the other two. And even compared to you, it seems. He's not a joking. He's not a joking person. It doesn't seem. He's like. Okay.
I mean, we identified potential vulnerabilities. I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Yeah, he's. You can do good work and still not be serious, or
that is true.
Still be joking. So you guys are effective, but joking. He is not at all a funny person. And he just nods. Okay. Is the patrol complete?
No, we have one leg left.
Okay. Good. So that did not take that long for you to do the full rotation. So I feel good that we will we will that we can some it's a very small area it seems, but yeah. You see that he's a little bit more relaxed. He's still attentive, but knowing that you walked around, nothing happened, you're almost done with the patrol after about 2 hours. It's like, okay, it's not that big. Okay.
No, not nearly as big as I feared when we were coming down here.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you roll a, I don't know, what you say, maybe a history or an insight check, whichever one you want. All right. So Zizal, just from being a little bit more, meeting more people, just because you doing your like stand up and going around and being a lot more taverns, you definitely recognize this man. He has a Gorman accent, which is the German accent. So you think that he's from the Gorman Empire. You would assume, or at least he was raised in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to ask about the strange accent, but I didn't know if that was like something that would be uncouth in game. You sound funny. Where are you from?
It happens all the time. If you ask him about it, he's like, oh yeah, I'm from I'm Zigor. I'm part of one of Zigor. So yeah. He just nods. No big deal. He doesn't. He's not defensive about it. It's just matter of fact.
I must say, I don't know much about the Gorman Empire. Where is it?
Oh, it's the Gorman Empire. Yeah. Well, first, we are not an empire. I don't know why they gave us that name. We are a very good, a very strong community. There's much you have much to learn from the Gorman. I do see, but it's kind of a culture shock coming from Zigor to Tremblemore. But yeah, it's good. You should go visit sometime. It's a good place. Very hot, hard to go, but worth it. Very worth it.
And what's a Gorman doing out in this part of Tremblemore?
Deep underground. So some of Zigor, we do trade with the Tremblemore, and so I am one of the caravan guards for the Gore trading groups. I have I don't just guard the Gore, but that's how I got here. I was a caravan guard for the Gore, and then I stayed.
Oh, how interesting. Zaza, Umran, I believe we have a bit of mine to continue exploring.
Yeah, hopefully not much more. Seemed like we were kind of rounding it out.
Yes, but we forgot to get some. And you know how I feel about map completion.
You're a completionist, yeah. Very good. I'm too. No stone left unturned can turn out to be deadly.
Well, lead on to the spot we missed.
Okay.
Onward.
All right. Good luck.
And we continue exploring around. Ooh, what's this wall over here?
All right. Yeah. So when you get to the east corner, you see a couple other like little small tunnels where they were mining some veins. They're very small veins because those tunnels don't extend very far. But as you go east, you come to a part of the tunnel that it seems to be purposely collapsed. And it is not just purposely collapsed, but you can see that the stones have formed like a makeshift barrier. And there's even like some iron straps that are tying down the stones. It's just like a hasty barricade that was made. So yeah, if you roll I guess on this one, an insider investigation, either one.
Damn, it's
with
insightful as fuck.
Yeah, so with everybody's scores, lowest was a 13. You guys are very confident that you assume that this is the tunnel that breached through is down here, and they have sealed this up because this is not an accidental like cave-in. This tunnel has been sealed, kind of permanently, but not as well. It looks like they're looking to until they can do a permanent solution. That's why they have these guards out. It's kind of like a semi-permanent. They first close it off, then they put the like iron bands down on the stones to keep them from being moved. But you would think that eventually they're going to have to figure out something to as a permanent solution, but it's probably going to involve I don't know if they're designing it or if they're working out what the best thing to do is, but that is the thing that they're worried about. That's the security gap.
Gotcha. Is how far can Fiona kind of wiggle her way as a spider like through some of those rocks? Is it pretty?
She
like,
cannot.
compact?
It is tight. Like it was designed, by the dwarves. You could tell that it looks like it's a pile of rocks, but it actually is completely sealed. That there is not like it may be hard pressed you don't feel like a breeze or anything like that. Like air may not even be able to get through. It was, like the stones were cut haphazardly, but they were cut and formed and placed in specific places to seal this off. Not quite a rock wall, but it's you can assume it's pretty thick too. So it's probably not just like 5 feet thick. It's probably quite a bit of barrier.
Gotcha.
Well, looks like this is the danger point, but it doesn't look super dangerous. I mean, it would take quite a bit of force to come through that wall they built.
Yes, that seems very well reinforced.
Yes, best to keep an eye on it nonetheless. Wizard Claws will take 10 minutes and cast Alarm as a ritual.
Good call. All right. If you don't have inspiration, give yourself inspiration because that is a great idea.
Oh, cool.
So it is now alarmed.
What is that? What are you doing?
Oh, just a bit of precaution. You know how cats are cautious creatures, Uberman. Yes, this is just a little spell that will alert us if anything comes through or comes past this spot.
No.
One can never be too careful, especially underground.
All right. It is the alarm. It is cast. So it covers the entire tunnel wall. So if anything moves past it or disturbs it, you will get I guess it's an audible, right? It's not telepathic. Is it a mental? It's not a, nobody else can hear it but you?
A mental alarm alerts you with a ping in your mind if you are within 1 mile of the warded area.
Yeah, there's nothing out here. You'd have to go all the way
It
back.
says you can choose audible if you want.
Yeah, an audible alarm produces the sound of a handbell for 10 seconds within 60 feet.
Oh, it's only 60 feet. Okay.
Well, that's
it's like a little handbell, like beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. The sound you can hear within 60 feet.
Right. That's not very far though. If we got to patrol the whole area.
Yeah. So I'll just do a little alarm in my head.
Okay. It is now it is cast. So if anything tries to break through, you will know, and then you'll just have to tell everybody else. So this tunnel does go south. So the square perimeter tunnel.
Yep, I'm gonna go that direction.
We've completed our loop.
And so you have completed the loop. So you have, I would say, with that other cast and talking with them and walking around and taking your time, you've done about 3 hours. So you still have 165 hours left. So you can
Join us on
imagine
the
why.
next episode.
Yeah. Welcome to Boredom. Good podcast. Good, very exciting and
content.
thrilling for all of our listeners. Good content. Great content. But yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. You've done your patrol. You've explored it. You know what to do. And I think we're almost at 1, which is kind of a hard cutoff for me. But yeah.
This is perfect. We can go back and just take a.
I'd like to loop back to the other group.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you get back to the group and you
More
tell
central area.
Yeah, tell Zahn that it's completed. Zahn nods and it's okay. So he is going to, when you tell him where the security thing is, he's going to take a torch and he's going to go over there and walk while you're there. It's not very far, you can watch the torch go down. So he goes down with the torch, inspects that wall for about 20 minutes, and then comes back. He just wanted to see for himself.
Yeah. As a caveat, when he casts the ritual, he designates the party as members who would not set off the alarm.
Include all 6 people, or just you 3?
Our team, because if they go off on a patrol and they go over to the warded area, I don't want them to set it off.
Okay, so so everybody. Okay, so all 6 people will not set off the alarm.
Right, because there is a part of the spell that says when you cast it, you can designate creatures that won't set off. And it would make sense that our team, I don't want our team setting it off.
Perfect. I just want to make sure if it was just you 3 or if you're doing all 6. But yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good, like I said, a good stopping point. Hopefully you guys had a good time. You got 165 hours left. So think about what you guys want to do.
I thought you said this was a shorter adventure, Bill.
No, we're playing it in real time.
Definitely. When you guys say you're going to sleep for 8 hours, or we're just going to sit in silence for 8 streams.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to sit there and you guys are still sleeping, and then we sit in silence. All right, thanks for that episode.
That's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, and head over to +1togaming.com for more live discussions, actual plays, character creation tips, and more. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.